Yo, how's it going guys, it's Dark here, and this is going to be game 1 of my round 2 OST match against Lyconik. And if you don't know who Lyconik is, he recently won the official ladder tournament, beat Impact in the finals, best of 3 set 2. And he's also an SPL at the moment, so he's a very highly respected player, probably one of the best up-and-comers, or one of the best up-and-comers at the moment in tour play, so I was definitely a bit anxious going into this one since this is my first real tournament. So I'm just going to get straight into the replay though. So at team preview, I definitely felt that I had the matchup. Charizard 1 in general just puts in a hell of a lot of work to his team, and I can pursuit trap his Latias if I do get the opportunity and play it well. Carmine or Sub-Carmine Keldeo can be very annoying for my team, since the only thing I really have to beat it 1v1 is Latios. I mean, I do have Ferrothorn, but I don't really want that taking a Secret Sword, because I do have power upon the Ferrothorn, so I do have that in the back if Keldeo does get a bit out of hand. But Keldeo is looking to be really annoying, because Tentacle doesn't beat it. Keldeo can burn it, and all I really have is Acid Spray, which doesn't break us up. Like, Acid Spray in Scald is really not helping. So pretty much the best thing I can do against Keldeo is just try and get up like a couple layers of T-Spikes, maybe even just one layer of T-Spikes, just to stop it getting free subs out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere, but you know, just to stop it getting free subs basically, because if Latios gets burned, then it can't switch into Keldeo anymore, and that's really not very good news for me. But I do think that I do definitely have the matchup here, and there's no reason that I can't win if I do play this well. So I really think that he's just going to lead off with his Rotom here, turn 1, since it has a pretty good matchup against my team that stops me getting up any hazards. Well, it doesn't stop me getting up hazards, but it just matches up well versus the majority of my team. Say if I lead Latios, he has Tyranitar in the back that can switch into that. But so predicting his Rotom to lead off turn 1, I'm just going to lead off with my Charizard, since this basically allows me to get a free Solar Beam turn 1, which would be amazing. And it allows me to just grab momentum from the start of the game. And he does lead off Rotom, which is amazing for me, since I can just fire off a free Solar Beam here, no reason to predict anything. As he brings in Latias, and right here, this was a really crucial part in the game. I know for a fact there's no way Lyconik's staying in here. I know that he's doubling. I have a T-Tar in the back, and there is no way that he's going to stay in and just Draco it for like 40%, just so I can pursue trap his one counter to my Charizard. So that I know he's doubling, and the one thing I figured he would double to would be to his Tyranitar, so that he can get up rocks, just to prevent my Zard switch-ins, because obviously Zard is my win condition. Zard is like, it's just my win condition. It beats his team. Well, it just puts in a lot of work to his team. So I figured he would double to T-Tar here to try and get up rocks, predicting my switch out. So I did go for the Focus Blast here, but as you are going to see, I did end up missing the Focus Blast, and this is absolutely huge, as you're going to see later on in the game. This limits what I can do so much. I pretty much won the game if I hit Focus Blast there. It didn't kill since he is Spadef Tyranitar, but it would have done around 70-ish, like between 60 and 70, and I would have just been able to fire off another, and as long as I hit, I would have been able to prevent rocks for the entire game, and as long as I didn't choke like horrifically, then I'd pretty much just won the game from there. So that Focus Blast miss was absolutely huge and kind of devastating, I'm not going to lie. But I'm not just going to give up. I'm going to switch into my Half-Out here, because obviously I don't want my Charizard going down, risking him going for the Stone Edge, but he makes a better play in just getting up his rocks here, realising that. But I'm just going to get my own rocks here with my Half-Out as he goes into his Rotom Wash, getting back momentum. And just going to go straight into Tentacle here. Now I've done this because I knew for a fact that he'd Will-O-Wisp here. I really doubt that he'd Volt Switch against F-Audon, and basically if I bring in Ferrothorn or anything like that, it just helps him win with Keldeo if he burns something like my Tentacle or my Ferrothorn. So Will-O-Wisp here was definitely his best play, and I realised that, so I go into my Tentacle just so I can get off a spin, just so that my Zard can put in some more work. Because Zard is definitely the way that I'm going to be breaking down his team, so I definitely need it healthy, and I need it coming in a lot if I'm still going to have a chance of winning this game. But he is going to go for the Volt Switch here. It doesn't do too much, but Tentacle has pretty much been whittled now. It's down to like, what's it after burn, like 32%, so that's really not too good for me, but it wouldn't have been beating Keldeo anyway. All it really needs to do is spin, which is what it does, or what it done. So it's done what it needs to do. It's just I need to prevent him from getting up rocks for the rest of the game. So I'm going to go out to my Latios here, since obviously it beats his Keldeo, but he ends up going for the sub. So this is a Sub-Carmine Keldeo, which is like really annoying for my team, and I'm just going to go for the Earthquake here. I did calc it, and Earthquake always breaks a sub. It's just in case he wanted to bring in his Tyranitar as well, I can get off some good damage on that. and I'll be able to fire off a second Earthquake afterwards since he is for death and not Scarfed. But he does just go for the Scald, and he does burn me, which really sucks. Not only will my Earthquake be doing less, like that's not really the biggest impact, it's just the fact that I can't switch into Keldeo anymore, which is it just really sucks. But I'm gonna pull a double out here since there's no way he's staying in. This is his win condition and he's not gonna risk sacking it. So I know for a fact he's either going out to Tyranitar or to Scizor. So just because of that, I felt like well, he wouldn't go out to Tyranitar no, because he can't take damage on it. Basically, I thought he was going out to Scizor, so I made the double out into my Charizard. Why? Because I need to get some kills, I need to get momentum back if I'm going to win this game, and I need to be aggressive with these switches. And Charizard was just a good play overall, because even if he stayed in and predicting like a double or something, Keldeo can't really do much to Charizard, not like he'd have any reason to, but yeah. So I'm just going to go straight for the Fire Blast here. I was expecting Latias, but he actually ends up going out to Tyranitar. I get a crit, which could have actually been quite helpful. I'm not sure if Focus Blast killed without that crit. But if it didn't, then that crit was definitely helpful, since it means I can just fire off a Focus Blast here. Even if it goes into Latias, I'm just getting more and more chip damage off onto it. And I could double out to T-Tar, but I really didn't think that that was necessary. I just felt like Focus Blast was the better play here, just in case he did stay in. And I don't know, tried to dodge or something. But I didn't do the calc. Well, I did do the calc at the time, but I can't remember what the calc was for Focus Blast on Spadef T-Tar. But yeah, I'm just going to go for the Focus Blast here, and he does bring out his Latias, as it's going to take a decent amount from this, getting whittled more and more, which is nice. Since obviously this is the one thing that switches into my Zard, and it can no longer switch into it anymore, since Fire Blast has way more than 37%. And he makes a good play in doubling out to Keldeo. I was kind of expecting him to go for Defog, so I was just switching in T-Tar, and I just felt like T-Tar was my best play in general against Latias, just to get out of the way. So he does make a good double there in predicting that though. And he's just going to fire off a Secret Sword here, no reason not to. Now, I went out to Latios. I did calc this, and I'm assuming I calced it wrong. I think I might have calced like Scald or something, and I don't know if I calced Secret Sword, but I thought that I could live this, and it turns out that I take like way too much from it. So that kind of sucks that I just lost my Latios there, but it wasn't really doing too much anyway, considering he had a Spadef T-Tar in the back. So I didn't feel sacking it was too much of an issue right there, but I'm kind of forced to go out to Ferrothorn here, since it's my only way of beating this Keldeo now. I can take one Secret Sword and just fire off a Power Whip, and basically if I let him get a sub, I lose to this, because it can fire off 2 Secret Swords against my Ferrothorn if it gets off a sub for free, which means my Ferrothorn dies, and it beats everything else 1v1, even at... Well, I guess I could superpower it with T-Tar, but it would be looking glim if I'd lost my Ferrothorn right here. But I'm just going to go for the Power Whip. If I miss, I lose, but luckily I do hit. And his Keldeo is now at 32% or 39% after the leftovers. And he's just going to pull the switch into Scizor. I didn't really have a choice to not Power Whip here though, because like I said, if he got off a sub, I just lost. So I was really forced to Power Whip there. No matter, I did really want to go for Spikes, but it just wasn't worth the risk. So he's just going to SD here. Like, I know that for a fact, since I had my Ferrothorn out against him, it's leech seeding, and if I go out to Charizard, he can fire off a +2 Bullet Punch, and then I'm in range of rocks. So that's obviously just his best play to go for the Sword Stance, and I'm going to go for the Fire Blast here. I can obviously have to. If I miss, then yeah, that's game. A lot of things can happen, but I just lose right now. So he does go for the Bullet Punch. That does kind of less than I thought it would, but it's still a big chunk into the point where I can't come in on rocks anymore, which kind of sucks, so I do have to make sure I prevent him from getting up rocks. But he goes out to his Latias here, which really sucks, because it means he's going to Healing Wish up his Keldeo. But I do just go up to my T-Tar again, just in case he could like, defogs or something. And plus, I don't need Keldeo for anything other really than Latias. And since Latias is gone now, even if he does Healing Wish up Keldeo, I can just superpower it in the following turn for just to get off like a good half damage, and to basically limit how much work this Keldeo can put in. Just to limit the amount of subs it can get under sand, like example. So again, forced to go out to Ferrothorn and Power Whip, as he actually pulls out the switch to Excadrill, and it's going to well, it's going to 2-hit KO, which is really nice. And I'm going to go out to Ferrothorn here. No, Ferrothorn, Hippowdon, because I can't leave Ferrothorn in to take damage, because that will put me in range of Secret Sword, and obviously I need Ferrothorn at full to live the Secret Sword from Keldeo, otherwise it just beats everything I have. So I am forced to go out to Hippowdon here. And this Earthquake's still not a hefty amount, it does a clean 43%. I am defensive, but it's a Life Orb Adamant Drill, so it's extremely powerful. And here, I kind of felt that he had to go out to Rotom. Well, not necessarily had to, but I thought that's the play that he would have made, since the only other play he'd really have would just be trying to flinch me with Iron Head, and I mean, if he lets this die, then he just gets swept by Charizard. Like, Charizard kills this with Focus Blast, Solar Beam kills Keldeo, so I really felt that he just had to go out of Rotom here, but he ends up staying in and Iron Heading as I pull out the double to Zard, because I really thought that he had to go out to Rotom there, because otherwise he just surely got swept by Charizard. Because Scald, I'm pretty sure, doesn't do enough. It might actually, but then again, I can just roost against Rotom or something. Well, not Rotom. Yeah, actually Rotom. I can roost against Rotom in the sun. So I would have been able to get my health back one way. And he basically would have gotten swept by Zard without having this around. So I found it a really weird play that he stayed in an Iron-Headed here. But obviously Charizard's my win condition, and I just lost my win condition, so that's going to be game right there. But I don't know, it was just a really strange play going for the flinch there, since if I EQ'd, then I pretty much won from there, so... Again, I'm not sure how much I agree with that, but it worked out for him, so... What can you do? But that's obviously going to be game, there's nothing else I can do, and I'm just going to forfeit there, so... That's going to be game 1. Unfortunately, that Focus Blast miss at the start of the game pretty much decided the outcome. And it would have been really, really, really hard for me to pull it back, and I almost did, but unfortunately it was not to be, so that's going to be game 1, and I'll be uploading game 2 tomorrow, so you can all look forward to that, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.